everybody, welcome back to episode number 9 of the So Inspired Knitting podcast. If you're new here, my name is Ellen and I am the creator behind Sew and Inspire. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really proud of myself that it's the end of January and I am sitting down to film this month's podcast so we can hopefully get in a good rhythm with it this year. I have been quite a busy bee over the past few weeks, so we have quite a lot to catch up on and I'm really excited to just sit down and chat knitting. So grab a drink, grab what you're working on and let's get started. I'm going to start off with what I am wearing because I have finished my Midland cardigan and I'm absolutely in love with her, to be honest. If you're wondering whether I managed to finish it in 2024, then yes I did. I cast it off on New Year's Eve so we just made it and I love it. I love the fit, I love the yarn, I love the colour. I'm just so happy with it. So the Midland cardigan is a pattern by Laura Penrose and I was lucky enough to test knit this for Laura, and it is a super interestingly constructed garter stitch cardigan with gorgeous faux seam details, a double knit button band and 1x1 ribbing to finish off all of the edges. It has a really lovely tapered fit, as you can see here, and I find it has just created the nicest oversized fit over the bust, and then it kind of comes in more around my waist and the top of my hips, and it sits in a really nice place, like just above my hip bones. The Midland cardigan is worked from side to side, so you cast on under the arm here, work across, then cast off under this underarm, then you pick up for the sleeves and knit them in the round, and then finally finish with a double knit button band, which I just think is the most gorgeous detailing. I used these really gorgeous shell buttons which I think just go so well with the pink, and these are from the new Craft House. Honestly, I think Laura is a genius. The way this pattern is written is just so clear and just really walks you through it, because it's a construction I'd never ever done before, but the pattern walks you through it so well. I can't sing my praises highly enough for this pattern. If it's on your list, definitely get to it because it is such an enjoyable knit. Like, I had the best time knitting this. I've never enjoyed the construction of a garment so much because it was something new. Like with knitting now, there's not really many things that really challenge my brain, so it was so nice to do something completely new. The yarn that I used for this was Drops Daisy in the colourway Powder Pink, I believe, and this is one of my new favourite yarns. I'd never used Drops Daisy before and I love it. I am extremely sensitive to wool. I have realised over the past year, and it is why I don't wear the majority of my hand knit sweaters, because I find them too prickly around my neck especially. But this, I have zero prickle. It is so soft and cozy, and I'm dying for a sweater in this yarn because I think I'd wear it all of the time. Would I recommend it for this pattern? I think there are better options, but I wouldn't not recommend it. I can't say how it's gonna hold up because it's only been finished for a month, and I haven't worn it loads in that month. So far it's holding up great, but I am slightly worried it might stretch out because it's very, I don't know, the yarn doesn't have much kind of structure. Like it is 100% wool and I don't believe it's superwash. Definitely do not use a super wash for this pattern. I did have to go up half a needle size to achieve gauge, so it is kind of quite a loose gauge for this yarn. I think I went up to 5mm needles, but fingers crossed it holds up well. So far so good. I'm just praying that it doesn't like stretch out loads, but I don't think it will. Okay, we have actually a few finished objects. So first big finished object, which I was honestly so happy to cast off, was the brioche scarf, which I was knitting for my grandpa as a belated Christmas present. He said that he wanted a scarf for Christmas, so of course I had to knit him one. So I cast on, tried to get it done for Christmas, failed miserably. I basically cast on too few stitches, so the scarf was just too thin. I just had a feeling it just wasn't right. So I restarted, cast on more stitches. I did use a pattern roughly for this called Soft Autumn, which I found on Ravelry. It's free, because I really liked how they did the edge stitches. It just made such a nice, neat, finished edge. But I think I cast on a few more stitches than what the pattern says. I will have it in my Ravelry project page how many more. I knit it in Lamana Como, which I will go as far as to say is possibly my new all-time favourite yarn. I love this yarn. It is so soft and so light. They come in 25g balls, but you get the same meterage as you would normally for a 50g ball of a DK. So it just makes such a light and airy fabric, and it was just perfect for a scarf. I used the colourway Slate Grey Melange because I just thought this kind of dark grey would just go with everything and be a really great staple. Once I kind of got over all the obstacles in the beginning, like not casting on enough stitches and the hand pain I was getting, luckily the hand pain completely went. I don't know what that was all about. I think it was just me like stress knitting, trying to get it done for Christmas, but as soon as I took that pressure off, the hand pain went and I was absolutely fine. So it can't have been the brioche, which I'm relieved about because I really wanted to knit myself a brioche sweater. I'm not gonna lie, this was the first time I'd ever knit a scarf and it was long. I spent a lot of hours on that scarf, but it was so worth it. The fabric the yarn created was just so squishy and soft and lovely. But I love brioche. I love it. I love the rhythm of it. It's something a bit more engaging than stockinette, but still really simple, and I think it turned out really well, and my grandpa was super happy with it, which just brought me so much joy. Okay, next finished object is an accessory, and that is the Harris hood by Coco Amore knitwear. I have never knit a hood before, so this was super fun, something completely new, and I loved it, and I will be knitting myself one because this one is a gift. Should I put it on for you? I have blocked it, and where I blocked it, it kind of has made this fold in the front, but with wear it will kind of like sort itself out. Oh my god, I look so funny. Here she is in all her glory. I am so happy with this. Like, how cute is this? I want one so bad. The only thing I will say is like the front opening is very wide, so if you're like wanting this to really keep you warm, I probably wouldn't recommend this pattern because it is like quite sort of oversized and slouchy, but I really like that vibe. But if you want something that's gonna, you know, keep you really warm, this probably wouldn't be the one. You basically start off with knitting a rectangle of fabric, and then you pick up stitches and then work back and forth down the hood, and then you do some shaping and then join to knit in the round for a little bit at the neck, and then you pick up stitches all around the front to do ribbing and then you fold it over and knit it down. The yarn that I used for this was Drops Air in the colourway Acorn, and it's this really lovely sort of melange brown colour. I think this will just go so well with everything. I feel like the Drops Air worked really well for this pattern because obviously it's a blown yarn, so it's super light. So it's created a really nice light hood but still super cozy and warm. I really enjoyed knitting this one. It was again something different to sort of challenge my brain, and I loved the process of it, and I cannot wait to make myself another one. I ended up only using 2 balls of Drops Air, but I ordered 3. So what I did with the 3rd ball was make a matching pair of Fingerless mittens. As I said, this is a gift, and I just think that is the loveliest gift ever. I didn't really use a pattern for these. Sorry, I still have the stitch markers in them because I need to write up my notes of how many rows I did, but I am super happy with these, and I think there even might be enough left to make myself a pair. I used the World's Simplest Mittens pattern by Tin Can Knits for the stitch counts, but I kind of did my own length. So for the hand I just knit until 3 inches, then I did the increases in the pattern, then knit the hand for 2 inches, then bound off, and then picked up for the thumb. I used 4.5mm needles, but I bound off with a 5.5mm needle. I tried to bind off with the 4.5, but it was way too tight. So going up a needle size just means that it's nice and stretchy, and you can like move your hands about in these super easily. Oh, and I think I used the stitch counts from the adult small. When I cast on, I initially did a purl round, so to prevent the fabric from rolling, and then before I bound off on the thumb and the hand, I did a purl row to stop it from rolling, and I think they turned out so well. I am so happy with them, and I think they're just the perfect gift knit accessory. They were super quick to knit up. I think I definitely could knit one of these in a day. At the Aran weight gauge, it just worked up so quick. So yeah, I'm super excited to gift these to their recipient. I think she's going to be really happy. Okay, they are all my finished objects. Now let's move on to whips. I am going to start with a test knit that I'm doing. I haven't got very far along with this yet, but I am knitting the Iris cardigan by Iris Makes. I have actually never knit a Iris Makes pattern before. Oh no, that's a lie. I have knit her Falling Leaves shawl, but I've never knit a garment of hers before. And when I saw she had designed this cardigan, I was so excited. I have been really wanting a round neck cardigan. They are everywhere at the moment, and I'm like, I refuse to buy one. I'm dying to knit myself one. I had this yarn in stash. It was the perfect yarn for this pattern, and I got selected for the test knit, so it was just meant to be, and I am having a great time. It is a drop shoulder but not too oversized round neck cardigan with like really small ribbing details, which I really like, and then it has a double knit button band. The yarn that I'm using is one of my all-time favourites, which is Filcolana Panilla. I first used this yarn 2 years ago now, and I've loved it ever since. I've been dying to make myself something in it because I knit that thing for my mum, and I've had this colour. I am so unsure about this colour. The colour is called Raindrop Melange, and it's a really lovely sort of, well, melange, funnily enough. Let's see if it focuses. It's not like a solid colour, it kind of has some tonality to it. is that the right word? I had a bit of a panic that the armhole was too small, but looking at it now, everything's joined. I think it's going to be absolutely fine. This isn't going to be a super oversized cardigan because I didn't want it to be that. I think it's going to have about 15 20 centimeters of positive ease, so definitely not tight fitting but not super oversized. I just can't wait to see this become more of a thing. I have literally just joined for the body. I've literally done that much. It is quite slow going. It's a 22 stitch gauge, which compared to the other things I've been knitting recently is tiny on 4mm needles. So yeah, it's kind of slow going, but I'm also just trying to enjoy the process, and not everything has to be a super quick win. That is the joy of knitting at the end of the day. Next whip is a little accessory which I have been so excited to knit. I am knitting the Midland neck. I love the Midland so much. When Laura was coming out with a Midland neck, I was sold straight away. I've been wanting to make myself one of these neck things for ages, but never got round to it, and finally I am making one. It is constructed in the same kind of way to the cardigan, where it's knit sideways. I have just finished the front neck shaping and I'm now on to working the back panel. So that's just super easy back and forth knitting because it's obviously in garter stitch, which means you can knit every row, which is just great. It is so addictive to knit. I will say that. Cast on with caution because you won't want to put it down. I have to force myself to put this down and work on my other projects that needs to be done for deadlines. But yeah, this is just my joy project at the moment. I was really unsure which size to go for because I have extremely broad shoulders for my size, and the sizing is kind of done on shoulder width. So I've decided to do the size adult small, which is the size that Laura did for her sample. So I'm hoping that it's okay. Like, if I pop this on, you don't want it to be like too big. So I think it's looking okay. The yarn that I'm using is something a little bit different for me. I am using Aldi yarn, So Crafty Aran yarn in the colourway Nickel. This is a 75% acrylic, 25% wool, and it's in this really lovely grey colour. I just wanted a really nice neutral for this, which would just go with everything. And I've just been seeing Aldi, people going on about Aldi yarn everywhere at the moment, so I was like, well, I've got to go and see what this is all about. So I went, and of course I came out with some yarn because I just thought, well, I really want to try it, see what all this hype is about. It is £1.29 a ball. Yes, you heard that correctly. And the Midland neck is technically a DK weight pattern, but after knitting the cardigan, it's the exact same gauge. So I kind of knew that I'd be able to get away with an Aran weight, and I am spot on gauge with this with 4.5mm needles, which is amazing. I don't normally go for acrylic yarn. I try and stay away from it, just personal choice. I have nothing against it at all, if that's what you can afford. I started out using acrylic yarn. I think it has a purpose. I just try and make a conscious effort to use it less where I can. But however, saying that, I do really struggle with animal fibres and them being prickly because I am so sensitive. So for something like this that is going to be very up around my neck, I thought I would go for this and give it a try and see how I felt about it. Unfortunately, this might have to get put on hold because of what I have coming up, but while I can work on it, I am really enjoying it, and I am just super excited to wear it because I am not a big scarf person. I just find it all too much with your coat, so I think this is going to be perfect for me to just pop on over my sweatshirts to keep me a little bit warmer around my neck. It's going to have a lovely big 1x1 ribbed turtleneck. It's going to be so squishy and cozy, and yeah. Onto my final whip, which is in my beautiful mood bag. I got this for my 18th birthday and I use it every single day. I love it so much. I feel like a proper knitter when I've got this bag. My next whip is this. It's looking a bit rough. It's in a bit of a awkward stage right now. I haven't done the neckband. I've started a sleeve. I haven't finished the body. It's all a bit everywhere. But I am knitting the Dartmoor sweater by Kadri. I have had my eye on this pattern ever since it came out. I just fell in love with it. I absolutely adore this gorgeous detail on the back shoulders. I'm not going to tell you how it's done because it is a paid for pattern, but it's genius is all I'm going to say. So the yarn that I'm using for this is one strand of Irish Artisan Yarns Superwash Merino and Nylon, fingering weight in the colourway Bush Mills, and one strand of Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk in the colourway Beige. How this colourway is beige is beyond me, but apparently it is. I kind of regret getting this colour, to be honest. I wish I'd got a darker one because it has definitely lightened the fingering weight hand-dyed yarn a lot and has kind of really taken over, like the fluff has taken over. But it has created such, I mean, I don't think the hand-dyed yarn is like completely lost when you look at it closely. I'm not sure how well this is coming up on camera, but it has created the loveliest fabric. This is, I'm knitting this on 6mm needles, so it is quite like an open gauge, but I knew that's what I was going to get, and I was a bit worried how it was going to work with this pattern, but I'm really pleased with it so far. I got this yarn from Tara as payment for doing a sample knit for her, so it's been waiting to be knit into the right project, and I had 2 skeins of it, so I was like, what can I knit with 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn that I would actually wear? And I really kind of wanted to try holding it with some kind of fluff and trying to knit a sweater. So I don't know if I'm gonna have enough yarn. I think I might just have enough. If I don't know what I'm gonna do to be honest, but we'll cross that bridge if we come to it. Let's pray we won't. But I've heard people can knit a jumper out of 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, so I'm giving it a good go. I will report back in my next podcast how we're getting on, because hopefully it'll be finished by then. I managed to get the whole of the body that you see here out of 1 skein, so I think that's pretty good going. I think that's set me in pretty good stead for being able to get this out of 2 skeins. I think I'm at the point where I need to start the ribbing when I tried it on. I don't want this to be super long. A, I don't think I have enough yarn for that, but B, I've realised that I prefer sweaters that like sit just on my waistline. So I'm aiming for this to sit just below the waistline on my jeans, and I think we're looking good for that so far. But when I got to this point, I hadn't quite finished the first skein of yarn, so I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like normally I'd pick up the collar, but oh, I'm gonna run, like, I might run out of yarn, so let's do a sleeve. So I started a sleeve. I'm gonna see how much yarn the sleeve uses, and then I'm dying to add the collar. I just feel like it is in need of the collar. So then once I've done this sleeve, hopefully I'll be able to gauge a bit more where I'm at with yarn. You may notice that this detail on the back shoulder looks a bit different to this, and it's because I had a mini skein which is from a different dye but literally could be the same. Like, there they are next to each other. Like, yes, they are slightly different, but they're basically the same. So what I did was hold this double to create this detail on the back. So, and this is a 20-gram mini skein, so I do have, this probably weighs about 17 grams maybe, so I do have this to fall back on if I'm running low, which is a relief. So I'm hoping I might be able to get the collar out of that, or finish off the body or something. I don't quite know, but held with the fluff you would never be able to tell. So I have got that little bit of extra, and I didn't do this detail with the fingering weight and the fluff held together because I just thought it'd get lost with the fluff, and I really love that detail and I wanted it to stand out. So yeah, I think it's worked out really, really well. When I tried it on, you'll be pleased to hear I didn't have any itch, so I'm relieved by that, because I have a bit of a habit of making sweaters and then not wearing them because I find them too itchy. But this is the year we are stopping that, because I want to wear my knitwear. Like, my mum wears her knitwear every single day, and that is no exaggeration, and I just want to be that person. But I'm just not, because I haven't made myself any sweaters. I don't find blooming itchy around my neck. Okay, I have one final little whip to show you. Not much has gone on with this, but I wanted to mention it because I have worked on it, and that is a vanilla sock. I basically always have a vanilla sock on the go because I just feel like they're so great to pick up when you just need a little bit of knitting but you don't have much time, or like you're in the car or whatever. They're just great. So I've had this yarn in my stash for quite a while now, and I've been dying to use it because the colours are just so gorgeous. They're so me, and I'm absolutely loving seeing how this is working up. I have actually done the first sock, but it's not with me. I don't know where it is, to be honest. I think it's in my basket of whips somewhere, but I knit that like literally at the beginning of last year. So this is over a year old, this whip. I think this might be my longest standing whip. A pair of bloomin' socks. But anyway, we will get them done. This yarn that I'm using is by Katia, and it's the Symmetric Socks Helsinki Sock Lovers in the colour 52. And it's one of those ones where it has the yellow guide yarn. So once I'd finished my first sock, I then wound off the yarn until I reached the yellow, and then started the sock again so they match. So yeah, fingers crossed all goes well and they do match. But on my other one, it turned out so perfectly. So I did 20 rounds ribbing for the brown for the cuff, which took me through all of the brown, and then I did 70 rounds for the leg, which is more than I normally do, but then it reached me to the solid brown section again, and I managed to get the whole heel out of the brown and then carry on the foot, and it just looks so good, because sometimes with self-stroking yarn, the heel can be like a bit tricky to get it looking good, but it looks so good. I wish I'd gone and found it to show you, but I also did a new heel for me. Honestly, it was like over nearly a year ago, so I can't remember exactly the heel that I used, I believe it was the shadow wrap heel. I'm not sure. I have always done a heel flap and gusset, so it's my first time doing a short row heel, and from what I can remember I really loved it, and I'm really excited to do it again on this one. But yeah, I'm just picking these up as and when I need them. They're definitely not a main project, but hoping to get them done soon so I can get them out my whip pile. I have no idea how long this video has been, but I feel like I've been chatting for ages. I don't really have any upcoming plans. I'm just planning to keep going along with the projects that I've just showed you. I do have some sample knitting coming up, which is super exciting. It's something I've been really wanting to get into this year, and so yeah, I've got my first like proper sample knitting job coming up very soon, so that will be quite a focused project, which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to share, so I'll kind of see where I'm at with February's podcast. But just pretty happy with where I'm at with kind of 2 main garments and then 1 or 2 accessories to go alongside. And shop wise, I have so many things like that I hope to do this year. New project bag collections and new other products too, but honestly I am finding it very difficult to actually get those plans in motion. I think being neurodivergent and struggling with my mental health, like, it really can hold you back sometimes, and I am working through that at the moment and kind of be kind to myself with what I am able to achieve. I'm still in recovery. What I went through last year took a massive toll on me and is not going to be, and I'm not going to be fixed overnight. And I'm trying to tell myself, like, it's okay to still be in recovery like a year later, because healing takes time. Yeah, to anyone else out there who is struggling or in recovery, like, I see you and I'm with you, and please just be kind to yourself, and I hope that you're finding little bits of joy in your making, and I hope this podcast brought you a little bit of joy. So yeah, new things are coming to the shop and I'm super excited to share them with you, but it will just be at my own pace. In terms of YouTube, my kind of initial goal for this year was to be posting 2 videos a month. One of them being the knitting podcast, and then another one either being a vlog or a planning video or something like that. I have kind of been getting quite disheartened, if I'm honest, with YouTube. Like, knitting, as you can probably tell, is my life, it's my passion, it's my love. I love interacting with other knitters on social media. Like, I don't have really any knitting friends in real life, so it's kind of my outlet to share and interact with other like-minded people. And I know it's not all about the views, but it's just, it takes so much work for me to film, edit, upload the podcast, and they are my least performing videos, and my hope is kind of that to sort of build up that audience this year by doing it consistently every month. Hopefully I will find my people who enjoy watching and enjoy me sharing what I'm up to. But yeah, I just wanted to voice that because it is kind of quite lonely and it's really difficult to keep doing something when you're like, oh, does anyone actually like this? Like, I don't know, like, do I even carry on? I'm not sure, but that's where I'm at. I'm going to try, I've kind of said to myself that I'm going to persevere with doing it monthly this year, see where I'm at. If something's still not working and I'm still like putting in way more than I'm getting out, then it's kind of not feasible for me to carry on. But I'm praying to God that doesn't happen, because I adore this podcast. I adore sitting down and talking about my knitting, and yeah, I just hope I find the people that feel the same. So thank you so much for bearing with me. I'm a little bit all over the place, but I'm trying my best to sort of find a routine with my work again, and slowly but surely get back to it. Okay, I think I've done enough talking. Thank you so much if you got this far. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and I would love for you to subscribe and join us. I would love to know what you have been working on while watching this video. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you very soon for a brand new video. Bye!